So today we're going to talk about how much product do you really need? How many collections do you really need? What are your buyers looking for? And how to set parameters around what you're bringing in, right? When you're thinking about your product collections, does it stress you out? Do you feel like, I don't really know how much newness I really need? I know when I'm dropping product, but I don't know how much I need. And it kind of starts to stress you out. That's what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to go through kind of a series of questions that you can ask yourself to help you put some guardrails up so that you know without a shadow of a doubt when you have new product ideas coming in, do they fit in your line or do they not? How are they adding value? How are they contributing to your bottom line? It'll help you kind of sharpen that tool of yours and help you tap into your own mindset as a buyer. The more you can do that, the more profitable you're going to be. And the more you're going to attract your ideal buyers, your ideal customers, because they're going to really see clearly that you have a product offering or a collection that meets their needs without you really having to overthink it, because you've done the work to say, I know exactly what my brand stands for and what type of product fits into that mold. And also, you know how much revenue that product needs to do. So this is a really fun conversation. I love having these buyer chats. So I hope that you enjoy it. Grab a pen and let's get into it. Hey friend, quick question for you. Are you feeling stuck with how to get your brand to stand out on Faire? I'm asking you because as a buyer myself, I can tell you that there are just so many brands out there vying for the attention of these buyers, but I know that your brand has something so special and it needs to be seen. I put together a private podcast for you that goes deeper into what buyers are really looking for on the Faire platform and how you can stand out from the crowd to grow your wholesale business and really land those dream buyers. So if this resonates with you, head to the link in the show notes for instant access. Today, we're going to talk about how much product do you really need? When do you need to deliver it? What do your buyers really need from you? And really what your buyers and customers are looking for, truly. And also, when should you drop your collections? So I'm going to start with that one. I'm going to start with when you should drop collections and how many collections do you really need? So first things first, you ideally need 3 to 4 collection drops a year. And I want you to think about them in terms of size, meaning I think you should have 2 full large collections that drop a year. That would be spring, summer, and fall, winter. And then 1 to 2 mini collections that happen in between those, okay? Now that could look like a mini holiday like Valentine's Day. Perhaps you drop in November and you really promote that to your wholesalers by, over the course of the December, January. That would just be a little mini collection. That could also look like a new product drop. So one single new product that you drop maybe in between your spring, summer collection launch, leading into Mother's Day, for example, or Father's Day, or just seasonally a summer product, okay? It doesn't even have to be that. It could just be the timing, meaning right before your ideal retailers are buying, you give them a little something new. It does not have to be a full collection. Now, the really important thing to think about with this is your effort and energy that goes into these. So I don't want you to put the same amount of energy and effort into spring and summer or fall and holiday as you do Valentine's Day. And what I've seen, I've done this myself, so I totally feel it and I've been there, is that you put so much emphasis on every single new collection that you burn yourself out. So you're like, I have 4 collections a year. I'm so overwhelmed because I'm just constantly designing, constantly marketing, constantly developing into new things. And it just feels like I'm never off the hamster wheel. But actually, if you think about it in terms of, all right, I'm going to put a lot of emphasis and effort onto these 2 big collections, meaning I'm going to go above and beyond for the inspiration process, the development process, the design process. I'm going to really, put my best foot forward. All of my energy goes into that. Maybe I bring some help on to help me during those periods that are busier. You spend more effort on marketing. You maybe spend some money on ads for the D2C side of things. You really put your effort on those two big collections because they are your money makers, right? They're the money makers. So they're going to give you that bigger return on your investment. Your buyers are buying their wholesale, buys then. If you're a retailer, you know that that's really when your customers are going to be coming in and spending money with you. Even if you're a brand, your D2C customers are buying then as well. So you know that that's the moneymaker time period. Now, when it comes to those little mini drops, you don't need to put as much effort around that because they're smaller. The revenue potential is just frankly smaller for a Valentine's Day collection versus a holiday collection. And I know you know that. But when you think about your energy and effort that goes into designing, planning, marketing, selling, all the things for each collection, think about how much effort you put into those. And that doesn't mean put a half-ass attempt at a Valentine's Day collection. That's totally not what that means. And I think you get what I'm trying to say here. What it means is maybe you don't need to do all the marketing things for a small collection. Maybe you don't need to have as many emails, as many social media posts, as much outreach for a smaller collection. So just think about how you can balance that workflow when it comes to the different collections. And I'm bringing this up now because it's still the beginning of the year. And so I know that you're still looking at and refining what your plans look like. And there's always room to tweak and change. If you're listening to this, further down the line, no matter what time of year it is, this is always really relevant. And you can look at what you're doing right now or what you have coming, right around the corner in your business. Okay, so that's what I think when it comes to collections. So 3 to 4 per year, ideally 2 big ones and then 1 to 2 small ones as needed. Now, let's talk about within those drops, how much product you really need or really what buyers are looking for when it comes to newness from you. This is something that I think so many brand owners feel this pressure to always have a ton of newness and to always be coming out with these brand new ideas, or you have a ton of ideas stored in your beautiful brain and you're just like, I want to bring it all out into the world. So we're going to talk through how to set some parameters for yourself. But first, I want to really just go through what are your buyers? What are your wholesale buyers looking for? What are your customers looking for from you? So when it comes to wholesale, actually, and your customers, quite frankly, your existing buyers, your existing customers are looking for something fresh and new seasonally. That's no surprise, right? Something fresh and new seasonally. They want to see what's going to get their customers excited, what's going to get them excited because they are already buying from you. They already are invested in your brand. Okay, what do they really need? Let's talk about what they really need. So first things first, they want updates to bestsellers. Updates to your bestsellers. So this could be extensions of, this could be a new pattern, a new fabrication, material, finish, color, something that's just a really slight tweak, fragrance, or a new product within an existing fragrance that is a best-selling fragrance if you sell candles or body care. Thinking about it in that way. So extensions of or evolutions of. So it could be you've had a bestseller that's been selling for a while, it's downtrending. Might be time to refresh it, but in a way that is just subtle and slight. And it's like, this is a no-brainer replacement. Okay. So updates to your bestsellers, that is the thing that people are always wanting when it comes to looking for new products for their shop. Or buyers are like, I want to keep my customers coming in the door. I want them to be excited, but I also don't want to take a big risk. Okay. Hello, just update your bestsellers. Don't overthink it. The second thing would be new product categories that fit into your brand identity. I've been having a ton of conversations with clients around this. So new product categories that fit into your brand identity. This is where it's really, really critical and important to be laser focused, crystal clear on who you are targeting, what you want to be known for, how you're positioning your brand. We talk about this in the Fair Bootcamp in module 1 for a reason. It's really hard to grow and scale your business when you're not entirely clear of how you're positioning yourself. You might have some fringe products in your collection that, you have these beautiful patterns and it makes like perfect sense to try out a pattern in this product category because you're like, well, it looks going to look beautiful. But when you really step back and think about it, it's like, okay, that's kind of a fringe idea. I really want to be known for this. And I've all of a sudden have all these products that are like fringe and don't really tell the story of my brand, and my brand identity is a little muddled. So new product categories that fit into your brand identity, being really clear on that. And then the third thing that they're really looking for, quite frankly, are reminders of what your existing bestsellers are that they haven't bought yet. Now, this is something that feels intuitive and you're probably like, yeah, duh, obviously. But when was the last time you really marketed to a product that you've had around for over a year that you might be bored of, but is new to your customers, or they haven't bought from you those products? Give a little life in those bestsellers. Bring a little life back into them. Breathe a little life back into them. Retailers want to have slam dunk, no-brainer buys from you. And if they have curated a collection that has maybe sparked their interest in the beginning and they're coming back to buy from you again, they want to know what they missed because they probably forgot what you pitched them before. So it's a really good opportunity in your pitches to not sleep on those bestsellers. It's a good opportunity in your marketing to not sleep on those bestsellers. So continue to give them the love and attention they deserve. That will hone in your efforts and help you to just really clear out the noise and focus on things that are going to drive your bottom line. We all want more profit, right? That's how you're going to get it without burning out. Now, what your existing buyers, existing customers do not need is an entirely new collection all the time, right? They don't always want a million things because they can't buy a million things from you, right? They are going to want to buy the update to the bestseller, the new product category that fits into your brand identity. And maybe, some fashion, little exciting moments. Oh, they're going to get this couple extra little things, but they're not looking for 55 new SKUs. It's not realistic for them. So they do not need an entirely new collection. Now, the caveat here is that if you are a D2C brick and mortar, or, you have an e-commerce shop where you're selling brands, other products, either in addition to your own, or you just straight up are a retailer, you do need newness. You do need a full collection. But here's the thing. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. So you can bring back things that sold in the past. Hence why I'm telling brands, hey, keep talking about those bestsellers and also, iterating on a bestseller, because that's what you can bring back because it's going to sell, right? You don't have to reinvent the wheel, find this magical new thing whenever maybe you had missed opportunity, or you still can eke out some opportunity in past products. You can also repurpose existing product. So you might have some evergreen products or things where you have excess inventory. Just repurpose them, show them in a new way, photograph them differently, market to them, put them in this new collection. A really easy way to think about it is if you have red product left over from holiday that could have been shown for Valentine's Day. That's a really obvious one, but it's just about how you position it, right? Customers are constantly looking at new things and they don't know what you just had in the holiday time period. You could have something that doesn't sell well in one season and becomes a bestseller in another season just because of how you simply photograph it differently, market to it more or differently, right? Now, when it comes to brand new buyers, wholesalers, or customers, everything is new to them. So you don't overthink it because they're brand new. And this is really important when your brand is at a growth stage, meaning, either for D2C or wholesale, you're really growing your business. You're focusing on getting more eyeballs on your business, on your brand, on your shop. It's all about that top of funnel. You need more customers coming in, more buyers coming in order to grow, right? So if your focus right now is growth and visibility, you want to be focused on getting more eyeballs on your business. So that should be your focus. So less is more. So you could bring in less newness with the intention that you're giving a little bit of newness for those existing buyers, existing customers, to have them feel like, okay, this brand is iterating and evolving and continuing to bring me some newness, but you're also putting your efforts, your time, your energy on how can I get the word out there about my brand through pitching, spending time on optimizing your fair page, doing marketing, focusing on UGC content, collaborations, all these different things, PR that can get your brand out there in a way that is bigger than what you can do just yourself. Just by putting new product on the site does not mean you're going to get new brands or buyers to come in. Just putting new product on your fair page and not optimizing, not doing any type of connection off the platform isn't going to do you any favors. It's just more and more and more, and it stacks on top, and it just becomes an inventory clog for you, and it becomes unassorted, right? So I want you to really think about that. I also want to really stress when it comes to collections, when it comes to thinking about how you're going to layer new products onto your existing product that you already have, I want you to think about always doing what is right for you as a business owner and most profitable for your business. If it feels overwhelming for you to continuously pump out these giant collections, change it, right? Don't do that. Do what feels right. Okay? Because there is this feeling of like, oh, okay, I know that this wholesale expert said I need to drop as this number of SKUs and this number of collections. I need to be doing this, that, and the other thing in order to be successful. I see my competitors, or these other brands that I really admire and look up to dropping these types of collections. It doesn't feel good to me though, because I am burnt out. I'm crying into my cereal in the morning or crying into my coffee. We don't want that for you. You want to do what feels good for you because you want to stay excited about it and motivated. You don't want to spend so much money on product development and inventory. You don't want to spend all this time creating product and bringing new product in only to be too burnt out to even market to it. So you really want to think about how can I bring in product and new collections in a way that feels good and aligns with the business structure I have in place. Now, if you are like, I'd like to be able to do this more efficiently and effectively, but I am drowning, then that might mean you need to think about how you can bring in more team or support, or how you can streamline things, do things more efficiently so that you can maybe get that product collection calendar in a place that feels better for you. Okay, so always do what's right and profitable for your business. Now, I want to talk about some new product parameters or guardrails, we can call them, for your business. So thinking about, okay, cool, I just listened to Kristen talk about when to drop collections, how to think about what my buyers are looking for so that I feel a little bit better about what I'm bringing in and when I'm bringing it in. When it comes to designing new ideas, I have a million ideas. So how do I know what to bring in, right? Like, how do I filter through that? It's really important once you have that clarity on your brand identity and how you're positioning your brand, it's really, really important to kind of define the parameters of what falls into that. So that when you have these new ideas, you can say, okay, that's going to go over here because I don't think that that's necessarily right for how I'm positioning my brand, even though I know that I could do it beautifully. I know that my print would look stunning on this product, but it's just not right for my brand, right? Like, I'm positioning myself as this category, this type of brand, this niche, and this kind of takes me to a different place. So maybe in the future, that could be a good thing. But right now, I'm going to just put that over here. Or you have some new ideas and you're like, okay, perfect. So this brings me to the first thing, which is, does it make sense? Right? These are some questions that I want you to think about as you're coming up with new ideas or brainstorming a new collection. The first one is, does it make sense? In my opinion, it needs to be an obvious add-on that adds to your line. It needs to add to it, not distract. It needs to be in addition to. Always think about it in terms of like, can a customer buy this and this? Or is it going to take away from the other thing? Is it really duplicative, right? Is it duplicative? Is it taking away from something? So how is it adding value to my line? How is it increasing my average order value, my UPTs? How is it adding value? Okay. How's it complementing my line? So this could be filling a category or a product, specifically a product or a full category or print or color, some type of void. So filling a void in your collection that's missing right now. So category, print, color, product, how is it filling a void? I'm going to break out price point into a separate thing because a price point void is really, really important. And I want you to think about it as a separate line item here. When you look at your product assortment right now, are you missing any price point buckets? Are you all low price points and like really high? Is there anything in the middle? So let's say you are a stationery brand and you have a lot of cards and stickers and keychains, and they're all under $10. Well, obviously, you would need to really focus your energy on maybe that like $15 to $20 price point. Now, let's say you have it down and you're like, I've got the under 10 and I've got the 15 to 20 nailed. What could I do that's maybe $30 or $40? Is there something a little higher price point to really stretch that? Okay. I'm talking retails here, not the cost, but it could be whatever, How do you have your prices balanced in your assortment? So this would be something where like, if you have a new product idea, does it fill an immediate need from a price point void or these other just kind of aesthetic voids that would help to add value to your line? And then the other thing to think about is it a new trend opportunity? And does that make sense for your brand? Talked before on this podcast about like, don't just go tracing all the trends. And I don't think that you are doing that, but sometimes it's hard to not when you're like, I see other people in my niche that are chasing after this trend and like it is blowing out for them, but it has a short lifespan. And maybe you're not quite there yet. You don't have the extra cash flow for that inventory. Maybe you're newer in your brand. So don't chase all the trends. But if there is a trend that you can chase into that has legs for your business and adds value, then go for it. The second question of setting some parameters for you would be defining the revenue or the profit opportunity. Defining the revenue or the profit opportunity. How is this going to add revenue or profit to your business? Bottom line. So creating a little mini financial plan against a product is the best thing to do because then you can measure its success. If it's a brand new product category, you might have no idea, but come up with something. Look at the last time you launched a product. How much revenue did each SKU do within that product launch? And assign a similar value to this new idea. That way you're kind of holding yourself accountable. You're not kind of, you are holding yourself accountable as a business owner saying, I am investing X amount of time, energy, and financial investment into this new product offering. I think it's going to deliver X amount of revenue or profit in my business. Does that value out? Does that even out? At first, maybe no. Maybe you have, a lot of investment that needs to go into the development of it and your launch plan might not be. Okay, so then expand it and say across a whole year, how much revenue is this going to do? And so you can start to give yourself some financial goals and make yourself held accountable to if that works or not, right? There's always going to be learnings. You don't always get it perfect, or you're probably never going to get that exact dollar amount perfect, but you might surprise yourself. So I would say define the revenue or the profit opportunity is a really great way to start to think about new products coming in a way that holds yourself a little bit more accountable and challenges you, quite frankly. Now, the third question is, how long is it going to live at full price? I'm putting live in quotes. If you're watching on the video, you'll see that. How long is it going to live at full price? Meaning, what is the life of that item? Something we talk a lot about in corporate with buying. It's really important to go into a new product launch by thinking about how long you want that to be around for. And it's something that I think is a big opportunity when I look at small businesses in terms of how many SKUs they have, because they go into it and just say, I'm launching this newness, but I don't really know when it's going to go away. I just feel like it's going to be there until it's not there anymore, till it doesn't sell well. I'm going to just eventually take it off my fair page. I'm eventually going to take it off of my site. But going in with an intention helps you to build out a collection that is more profitable and structured and strategic. So actually, I think I'm going to have my next episode be around this like product life cycle conversation, because it's really a deeper conversation. So I'm going to have next episode be about that. So stay tuned for that. Now, the fourth one Then my last kind of question for you when you're setting up these parameters would be, is something going to be, let me rephrase, is something going away to make room for this new addition? Is something going to go away to make room for this new addition? Now, going back to the conversation of an update to a former bestseller that needs a refresh, if you're going to go that route, that old bestseller needs to go away. You need to take a little bit of a risk in your business and say, okay, that bestseller is downtrending. I'm coming up with a new one that has all these attributes that fit the bill for a bestseller. I'm going to step confidently into this, and I'm going to no longer offer that old bestseller, and I'm going to move everybody into this new bestseller because it's more relevant. It's where I see the business going. It's where I see trends going. Okay. Something's got to give. You can't have the same type of thing selling at the same time, or you're just going to split hairs and actually does more harm than good. Because then a buyer's like, I don't know which one to buy. These look so similar. It stresses them out and they just go away. Right? Especially if they're new to you. Same thing with a customer. They're going to look on your site and be like, I don't know which one I should buy. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to think about it and come back. And then they never come back. How many times have you never gone back? All the time, especially with like shopping on your phone. Now, when you're replacing a downtrending category with something more forward trending, you don't necessarily have to get rid of the whole category, but think about how you can iterate it and evolve it. When you're thinking about like, okay, something needs to go away in order to make room for a new product, that ties into your inventory, that ties into what you're marketing to. Less is more. Less is always more. Your inventory will have less investment tied back into that. Your marketing will be more clear and concise. You'll know what you're speaking to, what you're pitching, right? So something has to always give. Now, if you're coming up with like a brand new category, you don't necessarily have to have something go away, but just think about, okay, maybe I'm going to have sales downtrend in this one category as a result of this new one coming in, but you don't want it to necessarily be a full wash. If you're like, it's going to be a wash, meaning this is going to downtrend, this is going to come in and totally replace that volume, then that means you should probably just say good riddance to the thing that's coming in and it's totally downtrending. But if there's room for both because it truly does add value, then that's where you can see the water levels rising in your business, meaning the total revenue, the total profit line rises because you've added something that adds value, fills a void, doesn't take away from something else. But there's a fine line. You do have to let some things go in order to bring in new. So kind of stepping into that and just saying, okay, I'm going to try this out. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, right? You can test it out again. It's all about having fun and playing with things in your business, but also having a little bit of structure. So I'm not trying to stifle your creativity or stress you out of the thought of bringing a new product. I'm trying to help you have that lens of a buyer. The way a corporate retail buyer goes into buying season, they are asking these questions of themselves intuitively and also on paper. How is this adding value to my line? How is this going to look with the collection? Does it add value? Is it taking away? Is it a new trend opportunity? How is it fitting into my price points? What's the revenue or profit plan for this single product? We would literally have revenue plans for every single product, every single SKU, particularly with bestsellers. Otherwise, it'd be category plans to help us balance out our collections and know what we're really working towards so we can have these measures of success. So I hope that this conversation was helpful for you to start thinking about how you can really go into each collection more strategically to build out collections that are profitable, work for your brand positioning, and also you as a business owner, help you to think about how you can market more effectively and efficiently without spinning your wheels, without causing burnout, and really just kind of tapping into your inner buyer, right? The more you can tap into your inner buyer, the more you're going to resonate, or your buyers, I should say, will resonate with you because they're going to understand what you're doing. They're going to subconsciously thank you for doing the editing for them, for bringing in newness that aligns with what they're trying to do in their business. And by default, you're also going to see your D2C performance be more profitable, because that's how consumers shop subconsciously and unknowingly, right? So I hope that this was helpful. Next week, like I said, we're going to go through and talk about the product life cycle and how to really think about the life of an item and how you can apply that to your business. So it's really taking this a step further. I love having these conversations. I'd love to hear from you in the DMs on Instagram at Kristen Fisher Coaching. If there's something that I said here that resonated with you, or if it got your wheels turning, or if you want to hear more kind of buyer conversations, I'd love to hear that too, because I come up with topics based on the conversations I have with my clients and in the DMs. And so your feedback is so valuable for me. So come hang out with me on Instagram, and I'm looking forward to this next chat. If you're ready to take your wholesale business to the next level on Faire, I invite you to check out the Faire Bootcamp. It's the only program of its kind that combines a step-by-step growth approach to optimize and stand out on Faire, and buyer relationship building strategies to capture the attention of your ideal retailers, both on and off the Faire platform. With bite-sized, action-focused trainings, the Faire Bootcamp is designed to deliver results as quickly and efficiently as possible, because I know you are busy and you do not have time to waste. So to learn more, head over to kristenfishercoaching.com/Faire Bootcamp. Thanks so much for spending some time with me today. If you are loving the show, I would be so beyond grateful if you would rate and review the podcast and share it with one of your biz besties to help spread the word. I hope that you absolutely crush your sales this week. I'll be back to chat with you next Monday.